Being healthy is too complicated, I'm giving up on it, is what somebody said to me the other day. The guy is a lawyer, and so he thinks in a very certain way. You know, to him his certainty is the law, and there are certain laws, and that's it. There's certain laws that you break and whatever, you know. It's all very straightforward, the law, right? It's very straightforward, it's black and white, you know. So then when you get into health and nutrition and the human body and all this sort of stuff, it's multicolored. It's really multicolored, and for someone who thinks in black and white, and you get into the whole multicolored thing, it can be blinding in a way, and it can be quite frightening and overwhelming and daunting, you know. And so, you know, what I offered was a different way of looking at it, a different way of perceiving it. You know, perceive it as an adventure. You know, because he was saying to me, he was saying, you know, my wife would come home and she says, I found out about this new food or new herb or whatever, it's really good for you, and then 6 months down the line they find out that maybe that wasn't so good, and then there's a new thing that comes along and this thing's really good, etc. And you know, if you go through it like that, you're just really skimming the surface. You really got to dive in and empower yourself by really educating yourself and discovering for yourself. It's a journey of discovery. Health, nutrition, wellness, it's a journey of discovery, and it can be very enjoyable, it can be very exciting, and it can be very rewarding and fulfilling as well. But like, just say you've got a 1,000-piece jigsaw, it is a jigsaw puzzle, it's a puzzle, and you've got to put pieces together, and you go, all right, this piece goes with this, and this piece goes with this, and sometimes you put a bunch of pieces together, and you think you got it right, and you're like, oh, those pieces are wrong, I've got to take those pieces apart again, they actually go over here. You know, so, but that's just part of it, right? Part of getting it right is getting it wrong. You know, part of going on a journey of discovery is finding out what doesn't work, going down dead ends and having to back up and going, okay, well, don't go down that way. You know, then you have some wisdom. You can tell someone else who may be going down the road and you go, oh, I did that and this will happen, right? So it's always good to have mentors and coaches and people and consultants and people who have made that journey already. You know, it can really speed up your results, is modeling success rather than all the trial and error, is modeling success. So something I've done in my life is I have modeled success. I've looked at people in the world that are getting incredible results, and then I learned from them, I modeled their success. And I've learned from many different people, and some of them have opposing opinions, some of them have completely opposing ideas, but they're both getting results, and so you have to have some flexibility, behavioral flexibility in your mind when doing that, because you get into things and suddenly you learn that, you know, you're thinking, yeah, fruit's really good, it's really good to eat fruit, but you're always eating it after you've eaten your main meal in the evening, and then suddenly you read and you realize that, oh crap, you know, I've been eating fruit this last year after every evening meal thinking it's really good, when what that's really doing is just creating a lot of putrefaction and fermentation, and the food combining is just all wrong. You know, it's actually clogging up my my pancreas and things like that by doing that, right? You know, food combining, you know. So I explained to this guy the other day, so I said, well, then there's food combining. He's like, what, food combining? There's such a thing as food combining? So he hadn't discovered, he didn't even know about food combining. I read a whole book called Trophology years ago, just on food combining, the whole, like a big thick book just on food combining, you know. So there's many things. Acid alkaline balance. I've read about 5 to 10 books on the acid alkaline balance, right, and how acid foods, alkaline foods, and some of them don't even agree. Some people say, no, this is acid, and other people say, no, it's alkaline, da, da, da. You know, not everyone agrees. Well, like I said, it's a journey of discovery, so you can enjoy the journey, right, and discover, rather than just getting annoyed that, oh, I thought this was good and it's not. You know, it's an adventure. Life is an adventure. You know, your body is an adventure. Learning about it, learning what works, what doesn't work. You know, I trained for a few years in the gym and had like really mediocre results, and I was training so hard, and then I learned that I was overtraining, and so and as soon as I learned that I was overtraining, a guy came into the gym and started mentoring me, and said, well, you're doing far too much. So I'd been like not wasting my time, but I'd been completely overexerting myself for a couple of years and getting mediocre results when I could have done a half or a quarter of what I was doing and got double the results. But that's the learning, you know, that's the learning, and it's part of the psychology of not to beat yourself up and not to, you know, get mad and frustrated when things like that happen, but go, oh wow, you know, now I can, if I see someone else, I can help them. You know, I've got a learning now. As soon as you realize you've got a learning and you can pass that learning on to somebody else, then that takes away the frustration and annoyance that, you know, going down that dead end or whatever it is. You know, so you learn about food combining, you learn about, you know, oh, I should take this amount of carbs, this amount of fat, this amount of protein, and then suddenly you find another way and it's like, oh, you're eating far too much protein. You know, in my early 20s, I thought I was eating a really healthy diet. I was eating like a bodybuilding diet, traditional bodybuilding diet. But it turns out, you know, I was eating things that were, you know, doing me harm. I had like really tight, sore joints all the time, and, you know, my joints are really sore. And now, you know, almost 20 years later, they're not, you know, because I was eating far too much protein. I was eating loads of animal products and things, and it was just, you know, really clogging up my system, causing a lot of acid in my system. So, you know, I learned things like that. So I don't regret any of it. It's just an adventure, right? It's just a journey of discovery and adventure. And yeah, you know, once you can learn something and think, oh, how can I pass this on to other people? Then that's rewarding, that's fulfilling. So look at it like that. It's a holistic process. Yes, health. You know, sometimes I say, look, health is simple, and it is simple, but it's also complicated. You know, there is a paradox in there, and sometimes you have to go through the complicated stuff to find the simplicity. And I can't just tell you everything in a video. You have to go on your own journey. You have to go on your own journey of discovery. You have to find what works for you, what works in your own body. But what I do say is learn from those that are getting results. Learn from those that are getting results, long-term results, not just short-term results, and are getting holistic results, right? You know, it's one thing if you want to build muscle, you want to get strong, etc. But if in the long run that's going to start to cause, you know, pressure on your heart and your liver and things like that from whatever goes into that, you know, like the high protein diets and things, then maybe that's not such a good idea. I think long-term, holistic, and I believe that's the best way. So maybe you can learn something from me, and maybe you can learn something from other people. If you keep that in mind, long-term, holistic, that's what I keep in mind when I think about health, nutrition, things like that. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you next time.